Let's get it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bullpen. As promised, in the Bullpen today, we have none other than prolific minister of the gospel, dear friend, pastor, activist, and author, Dr. Jamal Bryant, who has called for the boycott or the fast against Target and was recently highlighted in the White House in the most ironic way. I saw this on April Ryan's post. We'll have April back on the program very soon. Let me go to that and then we'll bring the pastor on. Here it is.
Suck motherfuckers accountable.
So I'll delete.
Yeah, that's right. Jamal, yeah, that's right.
All right. Pastor Jamal Bryant, Dr. Bryant, good day. Welcome to Indisputable. Sir, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm honored to be with you, sir.
Good to have you on the show. When I saw that White House thing, it was quite ironic. And naturally, you've been an activist. You have moved and progressed the agenda for Black people in significant ways, especially young Black folk in the movement, et cetera. You've done this for many years. When I saw April Ryan post that, I said, what the hell is going on? And I think you referenced those individuals as runaway slaves when you spoke on it. It was quite a fascinating rebuttal, in my opinion. And you're also leading the boycott or the fast, contextualized properly, against a major corporation known as Target. And these things may have connections. So I want you to talk about this fully in your own words.
Number one, let me tell you how honored I am just to be with you. Just appreciative of how it is that you are a critical thinker for our community and always pushing the envelope for us to go beyond the normative. So let me say that.
Thank you,
I found it peculiar and strange that in the White House, number one, who has tried to dismantle Black History Month programs on all federal properties, was having a program to start with. Number two, Rashad, you've been in this public space as I have. I found it odd that they weren't holding up a picture of Jasmine Crockett, of Hakeem Jeffries, of Representative Clyburn, of Raphael Warnock. It says to us in no uncertain terms, whenever it is that you are intending to disrupt the financial infrastructure, it's a problem. The other issue, Rashad, is when did they pull out these pictures?
Yeah.
They pulled it out after the announcement that the new FBI head had been confirmed. That's why the man is saying in the video, let's hold him accountable. Now, what's strange is I was nowhere near DC on January 6th.
Right.
So hold me accountable for what?
Right.
And whatever it is that you speak truth to power and you are positioned to make an economic impact, that's when all the alarms go off. Target is a multi-billion-dollar company. And since we have been in this fight, their stock has gone down by $13 a share. Their valuation has lost $2 billion. And so they realize that at the heartbeat of this is if Black people ever unify around economic justice, America will hold itself accountable.
We joined you in that fight. I remember when you first called for this, and I echoed the sentiment right here in Indisputable. For everyone who watches Indisputable, to Black folk, brown folk, to our allies that support Indisputable, we have 1.19 million subscribers on our YouTube page and 1.45 million on Facebook Watch. Those individuals are connected to families. We could literally destroy, not just disrupt, a Target if we chose to, just by withdrawing economically. So I'm encouraging everybody who follows this program to do so. Pastor Bryant, you were posed, absolutely, brother. You were posed a question. Why Target? Why Target? Now, I think I know why. Target employs a whole lot of Black folk. A lot of people don't know that. But I think also the connection with George Floyd is a big reason. So let's talk about why Target when all these other entities have offended in some way when it comes to getting rid of the DEI programs.
I want to first say Target is first and not only. They are first and not last. This generation, regrettably, doesn't have any wins. They only have settlements. So I didn't want to go after all of them. I wanted one at a time. Because Target is publicly traded, some demographic information is made available to us. Rashad, I am appalled that Black people spend $12 million a day at Target.
Wow.
12 million a day. I don't know any Black consumer space that is amassing that much capital a day. Secondly, for those of you who don't know, Target is headquartered in Minneapolis, a place where George Floyd was publicly lynched and killed. And they, by themselves, made a commitment to invest $2 billion into Black business. It is supposed to be met by December of 2025, when President Trump and co-President Musk went on an attack against DEI, and they withdrew that commitment when the commitment was not built under DEI or affirmative action. So to dishonor the family of George Floyd and the community is unconscionable. Thirdly, Rashad, it's unnerving that Target has branches at 27 college campuses, and not one of them is a HBCU. And so we're asking them to really fix it because we've invested too much. As one of the top 5 employers of Black people in the United States, as much money as we spend, they're not doing us a favor. They're operating in good partnership.
We're looking at the dismantling of the American system of government and democracy as we know it. We have literally an oligarch who's actually in charge. Let's be very clear. Trump is in charge of nothing. Yeah. We just did a segment earlier today, dear brother, where Trump is on video purchasing a Tesla. They have diminished him into a de facto car salesman. Now, what that is doing is enhancing the stock of Tesla, enhancing consumer confidence in Tesla. But obviously, the oligarch Elon Musk, who is operationally in charge, he's pulling the strings here. What are your thoughts about how this current American infrastructure is going to play out in the cause and effect as it relates to policy and opportunities for services that we're all paying taxes to receive?
Well, Elon Musk has made it abundantly clear that he is a vehement enemy of empathy.
That's right.
Anything that really speaks to the human heart and the human condition, he is opposed to. So it doesn't matter whether it's free lunch, it doesn't matter whether it's aid to farmers or assistance to veterans. Anybody who is in need, he has disdain. Last night, 1,500 people were fired from the Department of Education. This really says that America is going to be upended when our children are already running woefully behind globally in reading, math, science, and technology. What that means for our community, when over 300,000 Black people either had federal jobs or federal contractors, we're getting ready to see a gaping hole in the Black middle class.
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot that we're going to have to address, and the nation is crumbling around us, all while we learning a new line dance. So we're going to have to really snap out of it and realize this is the last chapter of Dr. King's The Urgency of Now. That this is a 5-alarm fire and all hands are going to have to be on deck.
You talked about empathy, and you're right. Elon Musk is on an interview saying that the greatest weakness of the Western culture is empathy. He said that out of his own mouth. And yes, he's governing, right? He's governing in that way. Here's a hypothesis that I provided. And this has come from meetings that we've had at the colleges that I lecture at and teach as a professor. There's this uncertainty with everything right now. And then beyond that, there are contracts that Black folk earned. These contracts on the chopping block if they haven't already been chopped. And I saw at your church when you called all of the federal workers and contractors of your ministry to come to the front so that they can be prayed for. Man, it looked like damn near half your church, dear brother, on that social media. There was a whole lot of folks.
This is how bad the time is, Rashad.
Yeah.
April 24th, we are doing a career fair for federal employees who have been terminated. In my entire ministry, I've never done anything remotely comparable. We're getting ready to see something happen. I'm here in Norfolk, Virginia, talking to you, and had to lecture to a group of preachers. And I had to say to them, Rashad, you're getting ready to see something you've never seen in your life. The church is about to grow, and the economy is about to go down. Because this is going to be the very first time we've seen that these kind of numbers, that those who are educated, those who are tenured, those who are experienced and seasoned will not just be unemployed, but unemployable.
Yeah.
Because there's no place to place them. And so the church is going to have to do some real heavy lifting as we get through this muddy chapter.
Yeah. I was in a research meeting last week, and for the first time, I'm seeing higher education bring in private equity investors for research. And that's because the research funding has now basically dried up from the administration, and what little is left is not enough for everyone. But it is causing a creativity to be launched inside of how we do things moving forward. And I have a hypothesis about why this is happening. You have 25% tariffs against Canada, Mexico. You have tariffs against China. They are intentionally not creating a recession. They're creating a Great Depression. But they're going to come back to that, I believe, dear brother, and try to privatize all of these industries and give these contracts to their oligarch friends. And I think the main one is going to be Elon Musk. Even with the Department of Education, they're consolidating buildings and getting rid of leases. And I believe those leases may return to some level and be codified within the context of privatization. This is probably the beginning of a massive privatization effort by oligarchs in the United States of America. And you're now seeing, we're now reporting almost every day on Indisputable of buyer's remorse. People that voted for Trump, they are now assed out and they have no other options. Do you believe that will cause some level of remedy and recourse in the future? The folk that supported him now realizing he doesn't support them.
That's under the assumption, Rashad, that we have an election.
That's right. That's
what gives
the
me
same thing,
pause.
brother. That's right.
Yeah. And I, as a lifelong Democrat, for us to be listening to the soundtrack of the Silence of the Lambs, I am not hearing enough uprising in DC pushing up against, even though they don't have enough votes. The old Black Panther Star Wars said, we're not outnumbered, we're out-organized. And so I think that we really got to roll our sleeves up and really got to fight back. What happened in DC earlier this week for them tearing down Black Lives Matter Boulevard was very significant. When Rashad, they could have just painted them.
That's right.
For them to use jackhammers to destroy the street was really sending a profound, loud message that we would be wise and prudent to pay attention to.
Well said, man. I echo your sentiment. Trump, and I've said this on the show, Trump is governing in a way that says, I don't need you to vote for me again. I'm not expecting you to vote for me again. He is literally disregarding every demographic that put him into that position because he obviously is thinking he doesn't need another election. But Pastor, he said that, didn't he? Didn't he say if you vote for me again, you won't have to vote again?
Listen, not only did he say it, he posted himself on his own page under the image of a king wearing a crown and holding a scepter.
That's right.
He sees himself as a king, not of the Martin Luther variety, but of the Richard variety. And so I think that the big thing for us to do is start positioning ourselves for midterm elections. And we can't just grandfather clause people in. We've got to really raise up a generation of those who will clear their throat and be prepared to fight. What we saw in the Oval Office with the exchange of Zelensky from the Ukraine signaled to us that the era of diplomacy is not welcomed on Pennsylvania. And so some real fighters are going to have to be able to rise up and really herald their fists and be prepared in some instances to wave their canes, even if it means that they're going to get sent.
That's right, brother. I wish I had more time with you. You are obviously always welcome to the show. Thank you for your continued advocacy. We support you 100%, brother. Anytime you need us to do something, just let us know.
No, thank you so very much. I'm appreciative. Those of you who are interested in the movement, please go to targetfast.org.
There it is. All right. And we'll make sure we put it up in post as well. Thank you, my friend. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Again, I apologize for being late.
Oh, you're fine, brother. We know you're on the road and busy. We need more workers like you. All right. Remember, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Take care of the planet. Remember, the truth is always indisputable.